Another note to parents and grandparents from an old man. Let me start by saying that I've been around baseball for a long time. Long enough to remember when kids showed up to the field with grass stains on their pants before the game even started. Long enough to remember wooden bats and yarn-spun baseballs. Long enough to have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of wins, the same amount of losses, and more than a few games that nobody remembers, except the people who were there that day. Some may call me old school when it comes to baseball. And if there's one thing I've learned after all these years, it's this. Youth baseball is about much more than the game. Yes, we keep score. We celebrate catches and timely hits and called third strikes on that nasty curveball. But the real lessons aren't always found in the scorebook. They're found in the way people conduct themselves when things don't go their way. Most children are sponges. Every young player who steps onto a diamond is watching. They're watching their coaches. They're watching their parents and grandparents in the stands. They're watching how adults react to success, disappointment, adversity, and triumph. When a young player strikes out with a tying run on base, he's learning something, not just about baseball, but about life. The question is, what lesson is he seeing from the adults around him? Is he seeing encouragement and support, or is he seeing frustration, blame, and criticism? When a team wins a big game, those players are watching. They're watching how adults celebrate. Are they seeing joy mixed with humility and respect for their opponents? Or are they seeing demeaning arrogance and gloating? That's important, because children often imitate what they see long before they understand why they're doing it. The same is true when a team loses. Losses hurt. They always have. I don't care if you're 9 years old or 90. But learning how to lose with dignity is one of the most valuable lessons sports can teach. Shake hands, congratulate your opponent, hold your head high, and come back tomorrow ready to work harder. That lesson carries far beyond the ball yard. Coaches carry a special responsibility in all of this. A coach's words matter. A coach's action matters even more. Young players will remember how their coach treated them long after they forget the final score of the game. They remember whether their coach showed patience, respect, and character. They remember whether mistakes became opportunities to learn or reasons to be embarrassed. And then there are fans. Now, I know every parent wants the best for their child. That's natural. But youth baseball is not the big leagues. The stands should be places of encouragement, not pressure. The loudest voices kids should hear ought to be cheering them on, not second-guessing every decision or criticizing every mistake. It is my firm belief that every young player should leave the field feeling supported, regardless of whether he went 4 for 4 or struck out 4 times. And that brings me to the umpires. I've heard people say that arguing with umpires is just part of baseball, and maybe at some levels it is. But in youth baseball, we need to remember something very important. Umpires are people. If players see coaches and fans treating umpires with respect, they learn respect. If they see adults yelling, insulting, or belittling umpires, they learn animosity. And I'll say this as an umpire myself, let me ease your fear by saying that there are very, very rare examples of a youth umpire cheating for one team or the other. You can disagree without being disagreeable. You can compete fiercely while still showing courtesy. You can be passionate without losing your composure. That's called sportsmanship. To me, sportsmanship isn't just lining up and shaking hands after the game. It's the attitude you bring before the first pitch, during those toughest moments, and after the final out. It's showing respect for teammates, opponents, coaches, officials, and perhaps more importantly, the game itself. The funny thing is, years from now, very few of these youngsters will remember their batting averages or how many games they won when they were 12 years old, but they will remember how the adults around them behaved. They'll remember who encouraged them when they struggled. They'll remember who treated others with respect. They'll remember the examples that were set for them. And that's why sportsmanship matters so much. Because youth baseball isn't simply about developing better players. It's mainly about helping develop better people. Every coach, parent, grandparent, fan, and umpire has a part to play in that effort. The game of baseball has always been about more than runs, hits, and errors. At its best, it teaches character, resilience, humility, teamwork, and respect. Those lessons don't happen by accident. They happen when the adults involved understand that the children are always watching. And if we do our jobs right, if we model grace in victory, dignity in defeat, patience in adversity, and respect for everyone on the field, then we've accomplished something far more important than winning a baseball game. We've helped teach the next generation how to carry themselves in life. And in my book, that's the biggest victory baseball can offer.